welcome to this week's episode of Work the Left Side. I am joined by the Troublesome Heart, Mr. Jackson Heart. How are you going, mate? You all right?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for having me as well.
No, dude, it's been a few weeks in the coming, so I'm glad we could arrange it, kind of thing. So, obviously, I was going to have you on a while ago, just after Cash. So I'll address that straight off.
Yeah.
Just obviously, when I had Cash on, we'll go back a little bit after this. But, we'll get the Cash situation mentioned first of all. Obviously, you know what Cash is like. He's never short of a word or two. I don't know. Are you guys going to have a match at any point down the line, or are we going to see this in the ring?
I mean, you call him Cash, some call him Sash. I just call him Borat. I mean, I'm kind of impressed that in 2023, Borat is still out here producing content. So good on him. You know, I would have thought that would have run its course. But nah, I mean, me and Sash, I'm sure at some point it will happen. I'd love for it to happen. Like he's good when he's talking. I'm pretty good when he's talking. I think when it comes to in the ring, I think it's going to be a long day's work for him. I think it's going to be a tough day at the office for him. But yeah, no, we'll have fun. We'll have a lot of fun, man. He's a good kid, man. He's a good kid. He needs to keep my name out of his mouth, but like, he's a good kid, man. We'll get round to it, I'm sure. It'll be good. I look forward to it a lot.
Maybe in his eyes, man, he's getting the rub, saying you'll take it as a compliment, maybe he's
sort
of jump on the bandwagon.
I don't take it as a knock at all. Like Sash is Sash, and he's a smart guy. He's very good at building a match. He's very good at making excitement. He's great on the mic. He's a great worker as well. But I would love to meet him in a ring, just because I think there's a lot we can do. I think also as well, there's the competitive thing as well. I think certainly he's definitely, to give him his props, he's definitely one of the top tier microphone workers going around today. He might not get mentioned in the conversation, but he's certainly up there. Might not be as well known, but he is certainly up there. I would like to test myself as well. I feel like I can spit on a mic quite well. So me and him could definitely do some stuff. It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be very insulting. Right? I'm sure someone's feelings are going to get hurt. And also the match would be great. I'd love to work him. Like I think we've always kind of wanted to do that. It's just about getting round to it, I think. It's a compliment at the end of the day. If people are talking about your name, if people are mentioning you, it's a good thing. Do you know what I mean? If no one's mentioning you, that's a bad thing. There's no such thing as bad press. So
that's it, exactly.
We've all got fans, and Sash is one of mine.
There we go. That's the one, yeah. Obviously, I kind of had to sit there and take it while I was talking, because obviously the big thing was the Arsenal thing, and being an Arsenal fan, I was trying to stay professional. I was like, yeah. You say what you're saying, but I'm just going to sit here and listen. I won't agree, but any true Arsenal fan knows, man, we've got to be like more than happy with this season. Back in the Championship. Legs fell off late April. Most of us probably expected February, so it's a blessing.
To be honest, for me, like caught up in the moment, it was heartbreaking, because obviously, like realistically, if there was a chance for us to do it, that was it. Will it come around again anytime soon? Probably not. But I mean, at the same time, all that being said, City's clearly the best team in the world. There's no argument. Even their second and third team would probably be the best team in the world. If you take Haaland out, they're still the best team in the world. Like, I don't really have any bad feeling about it. Like, we came very close to a team that has absolutely devastated every top team in the world right now. And then also as well, if you'd have said at the start of the season that we would have even been in contention to win and be this close to winning and be second, no one would have believed it. We would have taken that at any glance. Even being top four, I would have taken it at any glance. So we overachieved. And then in the moment, we probably got caught up. Everybody wants to win it. It would have been a magical story. I think most of the league were rooting for us, to be honest. I don't think anybody wanted to see City win it. Like, as great as they are, it's kind of boring to see them just dominate. But at the end of the day, I'm not too upset about it. We had a very, very good season. And like you say, to be honest, we just come unstuck since April. And you know what the worst part is? Like, even the games we had against City, like I can live with. It's the little games here and there of like chucking away points, but it is what it is. It happened, and we've got a very young squad, man, and they absolutely smashed it in the day. We came second, and I'm sure next season we're gonna have a banger as well. So it is what it is, man. Like we overachieved, so I got no complaints.
Yep, same here. I second everything that you just said. So let's get the generic boxes sort of ticked then. Obviously, nice. Wrestling, was it something you dug as a kid? Was it something that you kind of drawn to with the audience, the bright lights, the athleticism? Was it something somebody put you into and you thought, I can do that? What pulled you towards it?
Yeah, for me, I think growing up, I really only attached myself to like two things. I wasn't interested in a lot. Like it was really like I did sport. I like sport, to be fair. I was a big sport player, but like in terms of like being fascinated and crazy about stuff, it was like comic books and it was wrestling. So I used to write loads of comic books and stuff like that, and that was my thing. I really enjoyed that. But I never really went to pursue any of that. But then with the wrestling, that was something. I was blessed and lucky enough. My dad is a very athletic guy. I think he's probably like some genetic freak. Like he just gifted in any athleticism he ever tried. Never really hooked himself to a sport, but he's just like guys in his like mid-60s, super ripped up and stuff. Doesn't even work out. Like he's just super ripped. Like. So I think his genetics were really good to me. So every sport I would do at like school, at high school, in any kind of a team, in any kind of a national thing, like I would perform well. Like I would always be above average to quite good, like to like up there. You know what I mean? So, and then I was really sporty, and then wrestling for me, I think it's the stories. Like I love the athleticism, like seeing these guys like throw themselves around and like jump through the air and fly, and it's heroic. But then like the stories is what captivated me. Like I remember watching Shawn Michaels when I was real young. I must have been only 3. It could have been, and it's probably a repeat, but I just remember him hitting the pose and like the fireworks. And my family still talk about it to this day. Is like, I would always hit the pose with the leg, like looking in the mirror, looking in the TV, like literally the TV's there. I'm literally here. Like I was fascinated. Like, and that was always like my hook, I think. And obviously as I grew older, like, my family were into it. Like my brothers were into it. My dad is somewhat a wrestling fan, not like us. Like he's not like super hip to the business and stuff, but like he really liked World of Sport. That was his thing. Like he loved watching World of Sport, and he had a lot of respect for the wrestlers. Like he really like his favorite was Kendo Nagasaki, but like he had like a big affinity for like guys like oh god damn, Dynamite Kid. Like he thought Dynamite Kid was just the stuff. Like, and he thought Rockable Rocco was his guy. That he loved Rockable Rocco. So he had a big affinity for like technically proficient athletic workers. That's his thing. So I think growing up, I would naturally warm to those guys with a bit of character, but like the workers. So I got hooked to like your Eddie Guerrero, like your Rey Mysterio, your Shawn Michaels. And I think from there, I just never grew out of it, man. Like I just would have all the DVDs. I had every single annual. I would be at high school and people were like, oh, you're still into wrestling, man. And I'm like, yeah, so what? And then I didn't even care. And then I just never grew out of it. Like I had like all of whatever t-shirts and stuff. I never stopped watching, man. Like I never really and it just got to a point where I was like, either I'm gonna get to a point where I'm gonna be an adult and be like, yeah, I'm still into wrestling, and people might think I'm a bit weird, or like, yeah, but this is the thing. You think that as well, like you think that, and then you actually get to that age and you're like, oh, it's actually like, who gives a crap? Like I like what I like. But then I just thought, oh, I should give it a try and see how I go. I gave it a try and I felt like it went well, and I just never wanted to stop.
So I've been saying to like a few different people when they're talking about getting into it, it sort of seems a lot easier now. You mean you don't have to? There's probably like a school near everybody that's like 30 minutes away. So obviously you was fortunate enough to find a school that you liked. Did you get lucky first time? Did you try a few different schools?
I went to a few, and all of them were great. Every single one was great. I was just of the mindset of like, if I want to be good, I need to be like expansive. Like I need to be like learning from different people in different ways and stuff. And that's something I need to do more now. Like even though I'm having matches now, I don't feel like I'm training at enough variety of different places and training enough. Like that's something I really, where I am now, that's something I really want to like hit with like a certain type of energy. It's like I want to really like, because there's so many schools now, and like you say, like it was so different. Like if you even went back like 10, 15 years ago, it was so different. Like there just wasn't many. Now like pretty much most areas of London there's one, like most areas of where you'll be in the country, up north, down south, east, west, Midland, everywhere. So I'm kind of blessed in that fact. I started off at London School of Lucha Libre. That was the first place I ever went. They were wicked. It was kind of zany and stuff, but it was really cool. Their teaching is amazing, the style amazing. And then I did some brief time at Knuckle Locks as well. I did like the beginner course there. That was awesome. That was really good. I think it was like David Francisco who took that, and then Greg Burridge over at London School of Lucha Libre, and they were amazing. Like they were really good to me. Like just anything you would need. They were great feedback, great advice. And then I was living in London. I moved back to where I live at the minute, which is Luton. And then I left it for like a year because I had some injuries and stuff. So and then I picked it back up in like 2019. And that was over at UBW, which is where I train now. And that was amazing as well. And then so that's where I am.
Well, those names and those places, where through other conversations, I know they come with really good reputations. Obviously, Greg Burridge is Greg Burridge, and I'm obviously based in Leeds. But I used to go to 1PW all the time. I'm going there back. Obviously, Greg's a massive part of 1PW. The Lucha Libre one, I was going to bring his name up in a little bit, but RJ Singh, I know he used to wrestle under the Tiger Mask. Was that through, I know that was like a Lucha kind of promotion or Lucha school. Was there anything to do with that?
I don't know if he did it at London School of Lucha Libre.
I know there used to be a promotion, didn't they, where everybody wore masks kind of thing around the London area.
Lucha Britannia.
That's it, yes.
Lucha Britannia. That's what, Lucha Britannia was like, so they had like, I think, I don't know, so I think Triple L had their like own promotion of their workers and their guys they train. And then they had like Lucha Britannia, which is like the kind of more advanced like promotion of that. And then there was more like way bigger characters, like you say, like it was like masks and like these very theatric and stuff. Like it was really cool. I never performed that, but it looked very, very cool. And they had some crazy people on there and stuff, like some really like diamond level workers and stuff.
I know RJ was always a fan when we talked about it, because he said like you've got that sort of freedom, when you put the mask on. Obviously, when looking into you, what you've been doing and everything like that, I noticed a few match graphics of you against RJ, somebody that you've been in the ring with a few times.
Me and RJ haven't actually locked up. I have, but I think at some point we will. I think we're in like loads of the same promotions. Like he works UBW all the time. We work loads of the same places, man. He works Jurassic, Ignite. There's probably more I could name. I'm blanking, but he's awesome. I've always wanted a match with him though, just because like RJ's like wrestling's dad. Do you know what I mean? Like especially for someone like me. Like I always looked at RJ like before I even like really was having matches. Like he was someone I was like my older brother is a huge mark for wrestling. So like I knew of the scene, like I knew certain names, I knew just more the bigger names. I knew of the schools. I didn't know too much of the in stuff, whereas like he knew the in stuff. So he was like, RJ Singh is like, and obviously like I'm Asian, my older brother's Asian, so like he was always like, RJ Singh is like this really big Asian wrestler, like he's so cool, like you should look up to him and stuff. And I would love to have that match. It would just be awesome. Like he's so good. He has a very cool style. I think our styles would be cool because I'm like a story guy. So I think like I'm quite fast and athletic, and he's like obviously he works like a more kind of methodical, technical style, and I just think that's a really cool fit. I'd love that match.
Yeah. It must have been the posters that I saw. Apologies, I thought I saw actual.
No, it's okay.
It must have been the posters that I
saw.
Yeah,
we're probably on loads of posters together. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
I've probably just fantasy booking as well, kind of thing, because like
fantasy booking, man.
His
fantasy
style,
booking.
Obviously, just him working towards the DDT, and you just being like, no, just bezzing around, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
I love that as well. Like, I think it's so cool he does that. We spoke about it the other day because I'm actually for someone who is like does like a high flying style. I'm not a huge fan of like crazy finishes and stuff. Just like I could come up with something like wild and stuff, but like I'm actually a real big fan of like simplistic finishes. Like I always liked All Japan because I watch it and like the finish might just be like a variation of a German suplex. Or like a tiger suplex or something. And I love that. Like, I love that, like, if you condition the fans to know and you're the master of that move, any move can be a finish. I'm very, like, Dusty used the bionic elbow. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'm a big fan of very simplistic, like, gunshot type finishes. And him using the DDT and watching him use it on the circuit, and I've done a lot of shows of him, I'm watching him condition people, and now anytime he hits it, it's the finish. Like, that's the way wrestling should be. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone was crazy about like Kenny Omega, One Wing Angel, like no one's ever kicked out. And it's like, actually, he just does what like everyone used to do of like, no one should kick out your finish. Like, you should protect your finish. Like, that's why the finishes work. You should be protecting it. And it doesn't need to be like, obviously that's a beautiful move off the top there. Like, but it could be anything. Like, and the DDT is a devastating move. It was good enough for Jake the Snake. Like, it's good enough. Do you see what I mean? So, sorry, I'm on a tangent because this is something I'm passionate about. But like for me, so at the minute, I use a super kick for my finish, and I know it seems stupid because it's been killed to death by the Young Bucks, by the Usos, every wrestler in the world. But for me, I grew up watching Shawn Michaels. Okay. I watched this guy perform at Mania after Mania after Mania after Mania, having the best match every single time. He is the greatest wrestler who's ever lived, most likely, yeah? Or if he's not, he's in like the top 3 of pretty much everyone. If it was good enough for him, yeah, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for you. So for me, I just kind of, and I do like a somewhat, I take inspiration from the gimmick. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to use the move. I throw a nice one. It should be a finish. The tune-up is beautiful. It's interactive. It's a gunshot. Like, it's a beautiful move. So I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna condition people. And now it's my finish. Like, no one's ever kicked out of it when I've hit it. Like, and that's the way it should be. Like, it's very simple. It's a simple move. But I like that. That's what I'm like big into. Sorry for going on a tangent.
Oh, no, good. I love to see it. But for me, I think I was in like an interview with Jake Snake Roberts about the DDT kind of thing. And they're like, so how do you feel about everybody else, kind of diluting it, and you're still using it as a finisher? But pretty much to wrap it into you, like what you said about the super kick, Jake was just like, those guys don't hit it as well as I do. I hit it that well, it's still a finisher. That's the difference. Everybody else can be throwing super kicks around, but they don't hit them as precise as you do. That's why it's a finisher. Yeah,
there's that. And also it's like, I think it's kind of like silly in a way. It's like you're doing, and not to sound like one of these guys who's like been doing it for years and like, everyone's doing too much, because I do an athletic style and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But like, I do think that there's a point. There's a point to that though. Like, there probably is like a certain level of too much. Like, just because like you can hit like a Canadian off the top if you really want to, and it might be insane. And there's a time and a place. Like, sometimes I see it on progress. I'm like, God damn, that's amazing. Like, and some people, they'll hit it and they're the master of it, and it's fantastic. But like, sometimes I'm kind of like, like, because you're going to devalue it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, whereas like just one move even a simple move, even a clothesline, JBL, like the way he threw that clothesline, it was devastating. Like, so I just think like you can throw all the crazy stuff out there, but like if you have like one good thing and like the people know it's the thing, and then people care about that move, now your storytelling for your next 10 matches, people care about that move. So every time you get ready for the move, there's investment there. And then also like if people block out, like reverse the move, that's something. If someone does kick out, it's huge. Do you know what I mean? Like someone can use your move against you. Like you can build so much stories just off the fact that that move is your thing and that people know that. And also like John Cena, I'm not the biggest fan. I think he's absolutely incredible and definitely one of the greatest of all time. He just wasn't one of my guys. Say what you want, but everyone knew his moves, and that's like the whole point of wrestling. Like if people don't know your stuff, then nothing you're doing is mattering. Like if mattering's a word, I don't know, but like they should, they should know all your moves. Like yes, the 5 moves of doom, shoulder barge, all that whatever and stuff, but like people should know your moves. Like that's the thing. Like if you look at the trump cards and the annuals, it would be like signature move, and like as a kids we were like, oh, his move is the so like if people care about you, they should know what your move is. So yeah. All right,
I do want to rewind a little bit. Obviously you're bigging up Michaels. Just for the record, I want to go on and say Eddie Guerrero would be my number 1 of all time if I had to, you know.
Solid pick,
normally go top 5, but yeah, Eddie for me is just the be all and end all.
Who is your top 5? Just out of curiosity.
Top 5: Eddie Guerrero,
nice.
Steve Austin, Brian Pillman, Macho, Mick Foley.
It's pretty dope, man. I'm pretty big. I'm pretty big on Macho Man and Guerrero. The rest of the guys I love as well. They're obviously like incredibly, like just some of the best ever do it. But Macho Man and Guerrero, definitely. Ooh, yeah. Guerrero's my stuff.
Like I say, it was the characters, it's the showmanship, you know, that kind of sort of stuff. Just to go, rewind a little bit more. What I am noticing with a lot of people, and I want to do something about this at some point, I'm just trying to get my brain ticking over, is a very massive crossover appeal between comic books and wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the characters, the stories, you know, all that kind of sort of stuff. I just think they're very well intertwined. And probably, you know, 87% of wrestling fans also dig comic books and vice versa kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, would you say it's the storytelling and the characters, isn't it?
I completely agree, and I've always thought that. I think it for me it's the stories and it's the huge characters, because it's like when you read a comic book and that's why wrestling's so cool, because it's like wrestling, you have one of the biggest, most open, most diverse, hugest spectrums of what you like. Because some people like comedy, some people like dead serious, New Japan, brutal, and I like that too. Like some people like cruiserweight stuff, some people like heavyweight stuff, some people like the main event type style, some people like the Broadway, some people like, there's a lot of different factors in wrestling and matches and hardcore and comic books is the same, because like Batman is dark and gritty and Superman is light and inspiring and Spider-Man is funny, but it's also like you watch this guy go through so much and he's always coming from underneath, he's the underdog, like, so it's the exact same. And obviously I think for me, it was that thing of like, these are superheroes, they're larger than life, and like those incredible stories is what hooks you in. And wrestling is pretty much like comic book superhero stuff in live action, but like not the action, but it's not Marvel. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's the same. It's because essentially the reason we watched it as kids, Macho Man is one of the best examples ever. He's a superhero. Like, this guy is super colorful. He's coming out here. He's jacked as, like, he's huge. He's talking about like rocket ships to the moon and stuff. Like he's a huge character. And he's like, you know, he had a really inspiring story and it's captivating. He has the girl. He's going against Hogan and stuff. Like, it's captivating. Everything about it is captivating. The way in the ring he is captivating. Like, so yeah, I think there's a huge crossover. It's the exact same. And like, we're all nerds. I think like if you're a wrestling fan or a wrestler, you're a nerd. Like, there's no point lying. Do you know what I mean? You are like you're the same. You got like, obviously your son, he loves Mario, Luigi, and Sonic and stuff. Like, I'm 26. I love that stuff. Like, like I was the other day like in the shop and I was looking at like these, you know, Dragon Ball Z Funko Pops with the T-shirt. And I'm like, damn, this is exactly what I want. So, you know.
So, and then at its core, wrestling at its core is like the comic book thing. It's good versus evil. It's the big guy, the little guy. You know, the best stories are your David and Goliaths and all that kind of sort of stuff. So yeah, the crossover it's just one's on paper, the other's set in a in a ring. It's just that's the dynamic for me, and that's wrestling in its purity. Is like I say, it's just good versus bad. So. Mentioned sacrifice. Obviously, I know nothing's been obviously we don't know anything yet, but I do want to touch upon the promotion itself. I was talking to Adonis a few weeks ago. He put me on to sacrifice. I've not heard of them before. Obviously, he explains what they do, and obviously, I know you're aware of them. So if I just get their name back out there again for 5 minutes. Obviously, you worked with sacrifice in the past.
Yes. So for sacrifice, I've been working with since I want to say like 2019. They're a really cool promotion. So they do all of their shows and stuff, and everything that they do, tickets and whatever, is all for charity. And they're awesome. Like, they've had some crazy names come out of there. Like, you've got people like Warren Banks, who's on Progress, come out of sacrifice. I think G Money's worked with sacrifice. You had Cara Noir, he was down at sacrifice. You've had some like Crowley used to be on sacrifice all the time. Everyone knows Crowley. So you've had some really big names like work in there and come through there, and like they put on some tremendous stuff. They get some really cool wrestlers there. It's a very like innovative promotion. Like, you get like some like Adonis, great example. Like, he's doing a story with this character where he's lost his name, so he comes out as something different every time. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I think it's so silly, but like I know it's good stuff. I know that it's good stuff because I don't like comedy wrestling. It kind of turns me off sometimes. But when I watch him doing it, I'm laughing. Like, it's really good. Like, it's really good stuff. And it's like the same with like the lads or like Gene Money or Crowley. Like, that's really good high level content, because I don't really like comedy wrestling. I watch these guys and I'm like, oh, this is fun. Like, I'm enjoying it. It makes me laugh. Yeah, so they're really innovative. You get some really different type of stuff there, and all sorts of, a lot of variety on the card. And yeah, I just recently, yesterday, had a 4-way there. It was myself, Roy Johnson, David Grant, Cy Gregory, three big heavyweights, and me. So I guess it was 4 big heavyweights, obviously. It was good. It was good fun. I should have got the win. I felt like I had it won. Kind of got stolen from me. So we'll see kind of what comes on in the future from that. And they've got some awesome champions there. They got Harrison Leon, just won the Ticking Time Bomb Championship, and obviously he's a good friend of mine. He's a great wrestler. He's in the 8-7. Alexander Roth as well, who probably one of the most underrated, probably the most underrated guy in British wrestling. Like, he's just got everything in high levels, like charisma off charts, promo off charts, wrestling off charts. He's in the 8-7 as well. He's a champion there. So yeah, there's a lot of strong competition on Sacrifice. That's why I like it. I look forward to hopefully meeting a few of those guys. So.
That's cool, because obviously I just don't want people sort of saying, it's like a charity promotion. It's not going to be anybody well known there, kind of thing. And I've just seen so far off the mark that if you see a Sacrifice show on anywhere near you, obviously go watch it, kind of thing. You mentioned Roy Johnson, the guy's former WWE NXT UK guy.
Yeah, huge name. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah. The point of that was just to get Sacrifice a plug again, just to get the name out there, because I think it's nice to big up what they're doing. So yeah, you went through the schools. What's the plan going forward? Any promotions? Are you looking to venture out a bit further up north? You mentioned like Crowley, obviously Adonis. These guys are coming up sort of the Leeds, Yorkshire area.
Mm.
You're going to venture up here at some point?
I would love to. I think is it UKW up there?
Yep.
They're really cool. I've wanted to work with them for a while. So I think at some point it'd be nice to go head up there. I've got a close friend, Paul Hubris, I think he's still got the belt there, or had the belt there. So that'd be cool to come up there. I'd love to come up north, man. Yeah, it's just about getting up there and kind of, for me at the minute, it's just kind of expansion. Like, I feel like certainly this year things have got bigger and better for me in every sense. Like, the bookings are more regular, the matches are of better quality, my stuff is of a better quality, both in the ring and my performance and my character and my training and everything. And then I think just kind of get to places I haven't really been yet, like Wrestle Carnival would be a cool one, like Pro Wrestling East would be a cool one right now. There's way too many to name, but up and down the country, I want to be working as much as I can, as often as I can, with new. I just like things being fresh, and testing myself as well. Like, I want to work the best so I can be better, and I want to put myself in situations that are uncomfortable so I can come out the other side for that. And that's basically what I want to do this year and the next few years, is just keep plugging away, keep pushing, and hopefully find myself in situations that I'm either going to sink or swim, and see how I go.
It's about promotion, isn't it? You're promoting yourself, getting it out there. Obviously, it's point of doing things like this as well. It gets you out there, gets people name on people's tongues, and up here I say we've got Tidal, True Grit, two of the main ones. So I mean, obviously Adonis works Tidal quite a lot now. He's started coming up. So yeah, there's plenty of space to move around. That's the thing, especially where you're basically Caesar. I can't say you could come up north, but you've got like a shitload of like promotions and things around you anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, Tidal would be definitely one. I've seen they have a lot of talent that I know and I work with as well. They share a lot of talent with like a lot of promotions that I work for. So I'd love to go up Tidal. They got some really great guys on there. I know a lot of the guys on there. The roster's great. Like, yeah, that's definitely one I want to head up to, for sure. But yeah, that's the thing, that the business is booming, man. Like, at the end of the day, AEW, WWE, doesn't matter where you are. Like, 1PW did a 1,600 seater, was it, or something like that? Like a couple. Yeah, like, I think I could be downplaying it. It could be 1,800. That's crazy for an indie with no contracts, no TV, doing like almost 2,000 seater. That's crazy. Like, that's huge. Yeah. So that can only be a good thing for the business. That just shows that the business is doing well and it doesn't affect anyone badly. That's all good. Like, that means British wrestling's strong at the minute, and there's going to be opportunities. There's going to be people coming up. People are paying tickets to see that. Now, obviously, they get a certain amount of names and stuff, but that's just a good sign. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, the business is booming, man, for sure.
Definitely. I mean, and that's the thing as well, just because you mentioned 1PW, that was in the Doncaster Dome. So again, it's in a city that's not really renowned for sort of wrestling. Doncaster's not really got any huge promotions. And yeah, they managed to sell out the Dome. There was a few big names there, but the British guys are booked as strong, if not stronger, than some of those guys anyway.
They're the mainstays. Yeah. They're the mainstays. You get like... Sorry, go on.
I'm going to do it, that's right.
You get like your Matt Cardonas and your Osprey, and Osprey's a British wrestler, isn't he? Like, but like, yeah, do you know what I mean? But like, you get Cardona, they get some other names. I'm blanking again. They get loads of guys. I think was Christopher Daniels there. I feel like he was.
It was at the it was at the first one when they came back last October. It was Cara Noir versus Christopher Daniels.
Yeah. So they get like really good like outside like exports and stuff, but a lot of the guys selling that show are just top level British guys. It's like your Caras, it's like your Ospreys, it's man like Doris, It's Leon Slater. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like that's just an amazing thing. Like the fact that they did that, I think like deserves probably more praise. It's a very big thing. But yeah, it's just great opportunity for the whole scene.
And like so, yeah, everybody kind of builds on it, kind of thing. You know, people elevating other people. It puts more eyes on the prize. It can only help everybody, kind of thing. So you know, but yeah, I think British wrestling at the minute is probably at its strongest point that it has been for a long time. Obviously, it had a bit of a dip a few years ago, but it's back up. And I just think, yeah, you guys are smashing it now, and it all seems really positive as well. Everybody seems to be wanting everybody else to do. Obviously, there's the exception, you know, but for the most part, you guys are like, look, if you're doing well, we're doing well. That means more opportunity for me. You're kind of got that vibe going now.
Yeah, for me, I never understood. I'm sure there is a lot of it. I'm sure a lot of it's kind of like, you know, chat that you wouldn't see and well, but like I think like I never understood the mindset because like if the business is doing well, it works from top down. Yeah. Now, if the very top isn't doing well, then we're all in trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like if an AEW British show does poorly or a WWE British show does poorly, what that says is the British audience aren't coming out for the top level of wrestling. Now we're in trouble. So it works down. So like the fact that 1PW, an unsigned, non-contracted, non-TV company can do something like 1,800, let's say, I don't know the exact number, let's call it that. That's a very good sign because they're an indie. They're a same level as a Progress. Like they maybe they're more financial. I don't know, but they're like as high as a Progress. Do you know what I mean? So that's a very good sign. And then it trickles down. Like underneath that, you have all the other little sub companies and stuff. So all across the board, everyone's eating well. In a sense of like there is opportunity. There's an audience. There's a market there. As long as the market's there, we're good. When the market's gone, that's different. But like you say, like 10 years ago, the market did dip. That wasn't great for everyone. Do you know what I mean? But if this market, there's opportunity, tickets will get sold, people will come to see, and they might see you. Like it doesn't necessarily mean like me personally, but they might just check out the local wrestling show as well. Like so, and then you might get new fans. I never understood the mindset of kind of people being like, oh, there's so many spots and da-da-da. Like at the end of the day, if the business is doing well, like we're all like it's good for everyone, and ultimately everything's timing, everything's opportunity. Me personally, I want everyone to do well. Like anyone who's a friend of mine in the locker room or something like that, or someone I'm share locker rooms with, or you know, someone I get on with. I would never understand like, oh, this guy's ahead of me, or why is this guy like? Ultimately, time and opportunity will all come, especially to those who work and deserve it. Like so. Yeah, just focus on you. I never understood why people would get upset. It doesn't make any sense to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's better to just be positive. Everyone, we're all working together anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it should be, and like, to be honest, it's not like we're fighting to the death for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not actually. It's not UFC. I'm not like punching you in the face until you're knocked out for it. I'm not sleeper holding you out for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, like this is all scripted, man. So like, there's no point working yourself up. Like, yeah, like so. I think you should, and like ultimately, everyone should. You know, be positive. Like I hate the whole like negative environment thing. Like I'm a very positive person. Like let's be positive together. Let's work together. Let's create a positive environment for people. Especially like for me coming up, it was really nice. I experienced a very positive environment. I've had little to no negative experiences in wrestling, like as of yet. But so yeah, that's what you want, man. Yeah, fingers crossed. Tomorrow.
Yeah, but
tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll get somebody in the locker room at the next show and just but the that's it though. Everybody is helping everybody else out. What's the goals going forward? Like so we said about like promoting yourself, venturing out a little bit more. As I said, you've got loads of promotions nearby anyway. Obviously, being based where you are down south. Are we looking at you? So get some more gold in the future. You know. For me, there's not enough factions in wrestling. I think somebody needs to go out and like create a kick-ass faction, and then just tear up over the country.
Yeah, see, interesting. In the midst of something like that. Yeah, in where the company I'm in now, me and a friend of mine who I had a rivalry with for a while, called Josh King, we clashed for a long time. Ended our rivalry in a ladder match. It was very brutal, but I enjoyed what we did out there. And then we're in the midst of forming somewhat of a faction, and we're looking to expand that. I mean, it's in a few different promotions now. So hopefully something like what you said. But then goals as well, I would say, for me, definitely get some gold. I've not really had any belts, which isn't like, not an issue, but I would look good with gold around my waist. So, it would look good, you know what I mean? So that's something. And I just want those accomplishments, you know what I mean? I want those notches quite literally on my belt. And yeah, just bigger opportunities and things like that. And what I mean by that isn't so much like, oh, I should be given bigger opportunities. I just want, like, I feel like everything that I'm doing at the minute is certainly making an upward turn. Everything feels bigger. It feels better. There's definitely more opportunities for me. It's, higher value name of people I'm wrestling with. There's better quality to it. So just all of that, that's basically my goals. It's just like to keep building, to keep venturing out to new promotions, to venture out to new talent, to bigger talent, to better matches, more stories and stuff. I love stories, man. I love telling stories. So anytime I can get myself in like to an actual big storyline, that's amazing. Yeah, more belts, more money, all of that, all of that.
That's it. Well, it's like I say, it's the storylines. It's something to get your teeth into. It's something to sort of get you up on a morning and just be like, right, yeah, get more involved in. And obviously the belts, that's just a nice thank you. It just goes to show that promoters are acknowledging just how good you are doing and how how awesome you are, kind of thing. So, because I never got that where people sort of were kind of like, our belts don't really mean anything. It's like, yeah, they do.
They do mean they do. Yeah,
they mean a lot. Belts mean a hell of a lot, kind of thing, because it's recognition. So
that's it.
Yeah, so anybody and everybody should still be striving for belts. It's not the be all and end all, but it is. It's very, very important. So, sorry, dude, go on.
No, I agree. I do think they're very important. And like, obviously it's scripted and stuff, but I think it's just something that shows recognition. It says that you're trustworthy. It's saying that you can bank on this guy. It says that this guy is a certain level. Also, I think if I'm honest as well, I think belts do give someone something, and like you say, it's recognition, and they do mean something. But also, I'm a huge believer in the man makes the belt. Because you can give someone someone can go on the best run with the belt ever, like a year holding great defenses, and then give it to someone who, maybe might not do as much with it. So I do think there's a responsibility on the man as well, or woman. So for me, I think that's kind of what I want to do. I just kind of want to be I want to have a belt and just defend. I just want to have matches. I don't want to be one of these guys who never there to defend the championship. I want to be there as often as I can. I'll do it every week. Do you know what I mean? That's my type of thing. That's kind of thing. I think I'm very much someone who kind of prides myself on hard work. Yeah. So I think it's a show. It's a showcase of that. Do you know what I mean? To have something like a belt, or it can be, and it can be a way to give people opportunity and stuff like that. There's a lot you can do with it, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, prime example, you mentioned him earlier, same as you, he's not in my top 5, he's not in my top 10, but I acknowledge he is one of the best ever. It was John Cena, but when John Cena was doing the open challenges for the US title, and you had Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, these guys made their debut on Raws. Obviously Owens won, Zayn lost, but Zayn got put over he looked like a star, even in defeat. So the champion, by doing these open challenges, by having these matches, it just helps other people. It elevates them as well, and it just makes you look like an absolute force. So I think the open challenge side, or you can go the MDF.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm a huge
Sorry, yeah, go on, dude. Sorry,
for me, no, it's fine. I think my phone was kind of like cutting in and out as well, so I apologize. Yeah, for me, to be fair, with MJF it's interesting because he's not there's two worlds of thought. So like with MJF, Roman Reigns, I mean, they probably are the biggest draw. So like there's a business sense to it. Like Brock Lesnar shouldn't be there every week. It makes absolutely all the sense. This guy's a draw. Like he shouldn't be there every week. CM Punk shouldn't be there every week. He's a huge draw. So it makes sense. If I was the promoter, I would agree with that. Also, MJF is having the best matches every time he's out, though, to be fair to him. Roman Reigns, again, is having the best matches, the best storylines. But I appreciate that. But yeah, I probably do subscribe. And like, as the wrestler, the way I probably am more inclined is kind of like that John Cena, Seth Rollins type thing. Because I'm a huge fan of the open challenge thing. And I just think that's how you make a belt matter, is just like great matches week in, week out, like, and a variety of opponents. Like it really, like that US run is the best the United States belt was ever, and it's been close, and they've had good runs, and they had good runs before, but that's by far the gold standard of that belt. There isn't a better run. There isn't. No way. And Seth Rollins, I think he's trying to do something with that new belt now, and he had a great. I think he did some open challenges with the US belt as well. So yeah, I think it's something that's really cool. I think you can't really. It'd be difficult to do on a Brit Rest sense because obviously, like, you want to announce it, you want the graphics and stuff. So the open challenge thing might not work as much. But it'd be interesting. Maybe it could. I don't know. But yeah, I love the concept. I'm just a huge fan of like belts being defended at any given time. Like I'm a huge fan of it.
I mean, Orange Cassidy's doing it pretty much on a weekly basis with the international at the minute, and he's having banger after banger for me as well, kind of thing. But yeah, the open challenge is set on the British scene because the shows are so sort of far apart. You know, you're talking every 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. It can kind of lose that. Yeah, you want the graphics, you want to pull people into the show by announcing the matches. But I think if you've got a very solid card, it's worth a gamble every now and again to just put put somebody's graphic there and just put open challenge and what happens kind of thing. Because it adds that element of surprise as well. It gives
it's intrigue.
Yeah.
It builds intrigue. I'm a big fan of it.
I'm gonna have to wrap up. I'm gonna have a 5-year-old come running in and probably So dude, it has been a pleasure. I hope you'll talk to you again at some point down the line. Whenever you get a belt, we'll have you on to celebrate, kind of thing. Do you want to plug your socials, get the eyes on the prize?
Yes, please. Thank you so much as well. I appreciate you having me on, and hopefully next time I see you there will be some gold here on the table. Yeah, honestly, a pleasure. And yeah, so Instagram is Troublesome Heart _, Twitter Troublesome Heart _, and Facebook is just Jackson Heart. I don't know if I have more socials than that, and if I do, I can't remember. But yeah, thank you.
I'll post the links and stuff in the video description as well. But do come here, mate. You're fine. But yeah, he's just turned up. So thank you so much for coming on, dude. It has been a pleasure. Yeah. A fan of people who like to tell stories. That's what wrestling is for me. And for most fans, you can tell a good story, dude, you're onto a winner. So keep your eyes peeled. This gentleman will be a force. And thank you for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, do the normal social stuff, and we will see you again very